What is going on, YouTubeverse? John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, bringing you another Top 5 on this glorious Top 5 Friday. And guys, so exciting. We're getting through the 2010s. We've made it to 2012, another great year in music history. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right to it. At number 5.
Sweet life, sweet life, sweet life.
Channel Orange by Frank Ocean, an album that sadly I did not really get to hear until about a year ago, and I was like, man, how have I missed this? Just such a great R&B record, and it's much more than R&B. Frank tends to throw some different things into like epic songs like Pyramids. Of course, you just got the upbeat vibe of Sweet Life. And then you've got some really like lyrically, heavy songs like Crack Rock. But what ties it all together is the just phenomenal voice of Frank Ocean. I mean, this guy, just one of the greatest voices out there in contemporary R&B. But I mean, it's so soulful, it's timeless. And yeah, absolutely has to be on your list. So that's my number 5. Now at number 4. Koi no Yokan by Deftones. Oh man, another solid album from one of the greatest metal bands out there. And Deftones, really, they got their own thing going on, man. And what an opener from just how this kicks off with Swerve City. Then you got songs like Poltergeist that just have like this really unusual percussion to them, but really heavy and intense. Of course, Leathers, which was one of my top 5 songs of 2012. Amazing. Chino Moreno, talk about vocals. I mean, one of the best screamers in the business. And then you have songs that are like slow burners, like Entombed as well, to give a little bit of reprieve amongst all the brutal heaviness that is so great. But yeah, one of my favorite albums. It's one of my top 5 of theirs. And yeah, that's my number 4. So now at number 3. Black and Blue by Gary Clark Jr. What a debut album from this Austin, Texas bluesman who came on the scene and was like, a lot of people were comparing him to like Jimi Hendrix and stuff when he first came out, which is kind of an unfair comparison if you ask me. But man, he shows off his guitar soloing skills on songs like Bright Lights, When My Train Pulls In, which is such an amazing blues song. But then he offers a lot of different styles on the album. Songs like The Life are kind of like an R&B pop song. You've got, you know, a lot of different sides, so he wasn't boxing himself into just strictly blues, which I think was very smart and has helped his career move forward. But I don't think he's topped his debut, in my personal opinion. I think he's got most of his best songs on here. But yeah, gotta love Gary Clark Jr., and that's just my number 3. So now at number 2. Midnight Ghost and the Mayan Calendar by God's Green Earth. If you're unfamiliar with that band and you watched my 2011 countdown, you'll know that I was actually a part of this band. Short-lived, unfortunately, but I kind of think sometimes this is the best thing we had ever done. Even though the God's Green Earth debut album was great, this EP is kind of condensed, and it's us going a little bit into the darker side of things with songs like Black Hole and Disappear and Funeral, Usurper. I mean, I could go on and on about this, and it's kind of unfair for me to talk about my own band, but once again, Donovan Cox, my partner in crime in God's Green Earth, really did like 70% of the work on this thing. Although I'm featured vocally on almost all the tracks here, and I feel like this project really pushed me vocally in ways I didn't even know I had in me. So it was really fun, and it was kind of like playing different roles in some of these songs. But if you haven't heard it, please check it out. I think you'll really enjoy it, especially if you're a fan of bands like Deftones. And you know, kind of that creepier rock kind of stuff. God's Green Earth was the lighter side, the debut. This was the darker side, and then sadly that was it. But now at number 1. EP by Please Please. Another EP on this list. I know it's kind of a cheat because I'm saying top 5 albums, but when an EP is this freaking good, it's one of my favorite of all time, rivaling EPs like How's My Driving by Radiohead. And speaking of Radiohead, whenever I talk about Please Please, I describe them as Radiohead with a groove, because Dan Dixon, I mean, vocally, he's sometimes a dead ringer for Thom Yorke, but he's got his own thing going on as well. Very heavily influenced by the 80s in general on this. But I mean, Please Please just came out of nowhere. And amazing EP, just every single song on here, from River Song to Here Come the Wolves, my favorite track on that, which I talked about as my #1 song of that year. You've got 60s Love Song. Several of these tracks were used in the film VHS, that being one of them. Just every single song, even their cover of Cocaine, is amazing and so fun. And it's music that makes you want to dance and put your teeth out like, yeah, but also like raise your fists and like beat on your steering wheel at times because it's so rocking. I mean, it's just they're one of the best bands to come out of Atlanta, Georgia of all time, in my opinion. And while they are sort of, I guess, on hiatus for now, I'm hoping that they do continue on in the future, because man, this is just the beginning. You're going to hear more about Please Please in the top 5s to come of the 2010s, because just one of my favorite bands ever. So guys, that's my top 5. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What would your top 5 be? Let me know. And if you're so bold, leave me a top 10. You know, I'm always looking for great new music, and bands like Please Please and God's Green Earth that may be off the radar, but worthy of being on a top 5. So guys, thank you so much for watching. We got top 5s every Friday, album reviews, so much more. Thank you for watching, and as always, Viva La Vinyl. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and be sure to ring the bell for notifications so you can always see great quality content like you're seeing on the screen right now. Thank you so much for supporting Johnny Radio, and I'll see you soon.